What's up everybody, and thank you for tuning in to yet another episode of the horse training video series, The Comfort Zone. Today, I want to talk about spins. I've been reading some messages that I received from some subscribers with some questions, and I want to go through them all because they're all great questions, and I can't wait to do that. But I decided to start with this one. This one comes from Carrie Ann Peters. So let's read what Carrie Ann says. Hi Jonathan, I'm a subscriber of the Comfort Zone videos and I'm really enjoying them. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Just love how your horses ride, so relaxed and confident and supple. Well, good. She says, I'm wondering if I can ask a question. Of course, anytime. I have a filly I'm training and who has just over a year's worth of riding. I've really been struggling with her spins and getting her rib cage up underneath herself. She tends to get sucked back, take the wrong pivot foot, and not have enough forward motion. I've done so much trotting her into and out of the spin to get more forward, as well as side passing to get her rib cage straightened up, but she's still not spinning like I would like. And it doesn't feel like we've really made any progress in that regard. She does know most of your exercises, which is good. And do you have any advice for me on things I could try? Absolutely. So she sent me I always, prefer to get a video clip of your horse. Whenever you send me a question or request, it helps me get a good visual on it and pinpoint maybe more exactly what it is that you could do better or different. And so let's take a quick look at her video and see what we've got here. Okay, so this is going to be pretty interesting because I do like the way she moves her feet. Okay, she's definitely athletic. I think she can turn and she will be able to turn better than that. And it does look like, from your question, it does look like you've tried, a lot of very good things and you're probably on the right track. And it looks to me like you're on the right track because, she's crossing over pretty quick and she seems like she's trying hard, okay? So this is definitely, you're definitely on the right track, okay? But now let's talk about the spin in general before we tackle this situation in particular. So, and my first impression from this video is she definitely is sitting on her outside pivot foot. And first, I want to mention, like whenever I give a clinic, wherever I go, and we're talking about spins, it's a question that I get all the time. How do you get the horses to spin on the inside pivot foot versus the outside pivot foot? And as important as it is in one way, it's not something that I really have in mind ever when I'm training my horses or that I pay that much attention to, because I'm going to be paying attention to the reason why she is or my horse is sitting on its outside pivot foot instead of the inside pivot foot. And I'm going to be feeling those situations and I'm address those situations or those problems directly and let that, sort of fix itself. But generally speaking, is your horse needs to put its entire focus, all of its energy and its mind needs to be focused on the movement of its front leg, okay? All the power's got to be there, and this is how they're going to be best balanced. And if they focus on their front feet and they're making a really confident step, they're not anticipating stopping, they're really looking into that turn and they're gonna, they feel like they're gonna keep going as long as you're not doing it for them. You're not dragging them into them. You don't have your leg on them all the time. If they're turning on their own, looking inside that spin, and they're willing, then generally that's going to fix that problem all by itself. So my primary advice on making sure that, from the start, even if it's a slow step to a very fast turn, always focus more on what the front feet are doing rather than what the back feet are doing, okay? And that is going to be probably one of the major elements that's going to help you fix that problem. Second, as I just described, a horse that, if the horse is spinning willingly, meaning on its own, okay, to where you're nearly a passenger, okay? The door is open and there's a demand coming from the voice, a little bit of leg or whatever, but basically your horse is spilling willingly on its own. This is gonna be your number one priority from the start, from starting a horse and introducing a horse to the spin until a very, very broke horse going into the show pen, okay? It's much more important to have a horse that spins willingly by themselves than a horse that spins faster, but you're having it to do it for them, because the movement is going to be a bit rushed and it's not going to have the same eye appeal. And I guarantee you that the judge will be more inclined to give a plus to a spin that is potentially slightly slower than another spin, but when it's the horse spinning on its own and not the rider doing it for them, okay? So, and the reason for that is because the entire visual aspect of it is just going to be more pleasing to look at, because you're going to have a horse that's look like it's trying, okay? That it looks like it could go faster if it wanted to, or if you asked for it. You know, it doesn't look, it looks limitless in a way, instead of looking limited, you know, like meaning, okay, maybe I'm going faster, but it doesn't look to the outside like I would have another gear. It looks like I've got the gas pedal to the floor, and that's as fast as we can go. And so, so going back to Carrie-Anne's horse, this is what I would like to see her do, let's say, maybe as a warm-up or as the first, let's say, part of your spin session, or that day or that week, let's say, and then reserve yourself one day where you're going to speed her up a little bit more, but probably slowing her down a little bit. And you will find that with how quick she seems to be, by slowing it down, she's probably going to end up giving you more. But what I would like to see you do is probably trying to let her turn more on her own. So she seems pretty experienced. So you know, you can tell her, go for it. Come on, move, you know. And sometimes you might need to, you know, to use a little more leg or use some help her out. But as soon as you feel the feet moving, then you need to release and let her finish, let her turn. You should be able to, you shouldn't have to have so much hand or so much leg in order to turn, okay? At the speed that you showed me on the video, if you can make it your priority to send me another video at that exact particular speed, but without any leg or any hand, you just sitting in the middle there and letting her turn, okay? So if you can obtain the same speed or even slightly slower, but let her turn on her own, I think that that's gonna fix a lot of problems and give you some things to build on top of, okay? So that is gonna be, you know, a big priority for me when working the spin. Also, it's very good to trot the horse into the spin for some horses in some, you know, situations. Sometimes it's good to counter trot the horse, which we'll see that here in a minute, and then allowing the horse to get into that turn. And those are all things that'll help the horse move a little bit faster, give them some cadence, and you know, and encourage them to work a little harder. And again, we'll address that here shortly. It's very important, no matter what you do in the turn, no matter if you've got to, you know, kick a little bit, or you got to push with your spur, or you got to use your hands to, you know, to get the body back into place. And even if your horse gets a little bit dizzy, or you feel that it's running out of power, you know, you try to never end the spin, never finish the spin or go out of the spin until you feel that your horse is not thinking about your leg or your hands, but they're focusing on their feet and the movement, okay? So let's say if I start a spin, you know, like a big +1/2, +1 speed, you know, but then my horse got a little bit out of position, stretched out, and I needed to fix it. Well, I've already done 5, potentially 6 spin fast speeds, so if I'm gonna fix it, it might take me 1 or 2 turns to fix it. Now I'm at 7 or 8 spins, full speed, and then so my horse may, you know, in order to finish it on a good note, when I fix my horse's position, I may just allow the horse to slow down to a slower cadence so that they can focus more on their movement, and that I feel that they are focusing on their movement and not thinking about quitting, and then I can quit and stop on that exercise and go again into it. And then I'm, you know, and then if you repeat that all the time and never leave or stop the spin until you feel that your horse is actually did to the turn, even if it's just 1 or 2 steps, you know, you have to keep turning until you get that 1 or 2 steps, so that they're always programmed to be, you know, and not think, or not that they're programmed to not stop spinning until they, you know, they make the effort and think about spinning and keeping going. Okay, very important. So okay, so let's start at looking at various exercises that's going to help us improve our turnaround. That's it for today, folks. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider subscribing and give it a thumbs up. We will be adding new content every week on a YouTube channel and on a subscription video series, The Comfort Zone. So be sure to check that out. There's a 1-week free trial, so you can try this for 1 week risk-free. Browse through the content, see if this is something that that can be good for you. We continue to add new content weekly, and I hope to see you there. Again, thank you for tuning in. I hope to see you in the next video.